Canada. Okay, and as a new recruit, I ended up being the head of the engineering department. Notice I did not say became the engineer of the company. I just became the person who was in charge of the engineering department. What did that mean? It meant that now I had to manage guys who I did not know. I had no management experience, and these are guys who basically reported to my boss, who was maybe 10 years older than I was, and I had to very quickly learn to manage. Apart from that, I reported to the general manager of the company, okay, which meant that I had to learn procurement. Do you think I had to do that? Why do I need to learn procurement? Anybody? Anybody have any ideas? I love your white scarf. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Okay. So if I need to buy anything, guess what? As an engineer, I must be able to be the one to procure it. Okay. When we have farms, because they're French beans, we basically have farms out there. We have trucks which go out to pick up French beans in the farms. It was out in Muranga, in Meru, and then they started something in Kisii as well. Okay. Now, what that meant is the fact that I need to understand field operations as well. Okay. Now, what am I trying to get at? It's because of the experience of having to work for Frigochem, as an engineer and not Unilever, I got to understand business more broadly than if I went to a company that only had, that was a bigger company and that was more structured and had many more engineers. I'll point out something to you in Engineer Nyoke's presentation. Guess how old he was when he was managing the project between the Garissa project. Early 30s. Okay, somebody else? 25. Somebody else? The gentleman in a beautiful orange shirt. Sorry? I think about 28. Okay, there's also the gentleman. 37. I guess, being the person who's presenting, I get the opportunity to get the right answer. How old were you when
I was 28.
Wow. He was 28. Okay. That's not too far from how old you are today, is it?
No.
Okay. Sorry? Oh, it is a long way away. Okay. Well, let's just say it's maybe, let's even call it 5 years or 6 years from the point where you graduate, you need to manage a road project on your own. Okay? It means that you need to have developed certain skills, certain skill sets that are not only engineering. True? Now, how hard are you working at being able to pick up those skills? That's important. Because guess what? When you're 28, if you're fortunate enough and you structure it well, like Engineer Wanyoke, you'll be in charge of a very big project. Okay? It will not be a 1 million shilling project. It will not be a 10 million shilling project. It might not even be a 100 million shilling project. Billions. It will be in billions. Now, are you ready? Or let me put it this way: are you going to be ready when you're 28 to manage a 1 billion shilling project? Now, sometimes I think we get lost in what a billion is. A billion is 1,000 million. Because I think the number gets thrown around, we sometimes get to forget. It's 1,000 what?
Million.
Yeah. So you think of a million as a big number, but guess what? 1,000 of those. Okay? So I just want to say, as a summary, my experience of having grown up, not getting into the Unilever, going into Frigochem. After that, I went into consulting a bit. I worked for Howard Humphreys for a period of time before I went to do my master's. And then came back and worked for Coca-Cola for 5-6 years. I got a return in the big league, and that was fun. Okay? But unfortunately, in year 1999, during the heydays of a gentleman called Kamlesh Patni, Kenya shut down. Okay? And I don't want to blame Kamlesh alone. It was just the fact that there are many things that were not going right, I guess, like engineer mentioned. And the reality was a lot of industries were not doing as well. So you can get out at the wrong time. Guess what? You guys are getting out at the right time because there's a lot of construction going on. We've just discovered oil. You guys know that? You guys know that, isn't it? I mean, I read something this morning that said that, guess what, the oil wells that we're tapping into are the same oil wells that Saudi Arabia is tapping into. Now, if that's the thing, we need to be really scared. And I mean really scared positively, because the opportunities are going to be huge. Okay, not really scared in terms of we're going to start fighting. That's that has nothing to do with engineering. What needs to concern you is the fact that if we have as much oil as Saudi Arabia has, then guess what? How am I, as an engineer, ready to take the opportunities that are going to be presented by that new Kenya? Okay. 3 issues I think that are important for you: skills, market, and passion. Skills. What are you good at? Some of the things that have been mentioned, I guess, by Cho was about the whole idea of Pricewaterhouse. Why is it that Pricewaterhouse would want to come here and recruit auditors? It's because of the fact that you have great analytical skills because of your training. I had a couple of conversations, and one of the things that I mentioned to a gentleman I was speaking to was just the fact that one of the most wonderful things you can learn in university is to learn how to learn. Okay? Not to learn engineering, not to learn management, not to learn marketing, is to learn how to learn. Now that means I should give you anything, any subject, and you should be able to dig up in 6 months and understand it into a decent level of competence. And I challenge you to basically look at the qualifications of people who head institutions such as the World Bank, such as Citibank. You'll be amazed at some of the most popular course in Oxford University today, where a lot of organizations go to hunt for top-level managers. What do you think that course is? What do you think is the most popular course in Oxford University? First, you know where Oxford is, isn't it? What could it be, guys? You guess. Gentlemen? Sorry? An MBA? Okay, no, it's an undergraduate course. Let me give you a hint. It's an undergraduate course. Management? No. No? Economics? Close. Okay, it's a BA. It's a BA, and it's in economics, philosophy. The only thing, the last thing is politics and government. Okay, they call it basically government. It's normally called government in most universities. Philosophy and economics. Okay, and I challenge you, basically look at some of the top managers in many of the international organizations in Kenya. The Coca-Colas, the Unilevers, the Citibanks, and places like that. It's because of the fact that you have to develop certain skills that the job market is looking for. Because guess what? As a person who has understood what skills market is looking for, you can develop those skills even as you sit in university, or have the ability that when you go out, even with your mechanical engineering degree or civil engineering degree, you can easily adapt to be able to see where the opportunities lie for you and be able to take advantage of those things. Because guess what? My skills must be matched to my market. Okay? And market includes things like, you've seen a lot of the construction that's happening right now with the Kenya Roads Board, Tura, rural. All those are opportunities that are hungry and waiting for great talent to come out and work in those fields.
And the new counties.
And the new counties.
The county devolution. Was a lot of stuff.
Absolutely. You had that from engineer as well?
Well.
Absolutely. So do you think of the county government as an issue that's political, or do you think it as an issue that provides opportunities for engineers? You need to think of it that way, that those are markets that are sitting out there and waiting for great talent. I've had a lot of people say and it's a wrong perception again in covering my second point in the market, that there are no jobs. Do you think that is true? Do you think there are no jobs? Gentleman where Peter was sitting, do you think there are no jobs? You think? Why do you think so? Okay. Well, I'll tell you a secret and add to that, which is just a correction on the last bit about payment. People are willing to pay great salaries for great talent.
For the right people.
For the right people.
It's the people who are not here.
Now, I didn't say that, did I? Okay, I did not say that. The reality is there are loads of opportunities, and unfortunately, what sometimes comes out as media communication in saying that there is a scarcity of jobs becomes a reality for me when I come to believe that it doesn't matter how competent or qualified I will be, there will not be jobs. I'll tell you the reality, there are no jobs for people who are not qualified. So it's figuring out, how do I need to ensure that I'm qualified to ensure that I can find the plentiful jobs that exist in this market. I struggle to fill in the positions that we have in my company because it's very hard. The big push for us this year has been, at Gamma Data, has been talent. Amazingly, one of the most useful sources of employment for us has been people who have come to our company and worked as interns. We're not a big firm. But we're very intentional about our internship program because it allows us to interact with individuals who are still going through campus and allows us to feel if we would be interested in recruiting that individual. So I don't know how seriously you take your internships. Our last hire, last month, is a gentleman who has worked with us twice on 2 internships doing electrical engineering at the University of Nairobi. We've had an excellent individual from Jkuat. I think he's just graduated. He worked with us for 1 internship, and it was an awesome experience. I was telling Peter about it. It was a great experience working with the gentleman. I'll keep his name confidential until he allows me to. But he came from this university, just like you guys did. But excellent individual, very proactive. Wanted to learn about the company. I mean, went all the way to ensure that he could learn as much as he could. Now, unfortunately, for his second internship, he's opted to go to a multinational. And guess what? My responsibility is to ensure that I write a great recommendation letter for him. And he did. He actually got his internship at BAT. It might be very difficult for you to match at BAT. But what happened is the fact that he had the opportunity of working for a small organization. He's had the opportunity of now working for a big organization. Guess what? He's going to have the opportunity to be able to make choices based on the market that he has experienced. Okay. Quickly, passion. What are you passionate about? Is the last of the 3 things. Okay. Got to come to an end. What are you passionate about? Try and match your abilities or your skills with the market and what it is that you're most passionate about. I will have to stop here because my time has run out. I will just add the last thing, which was on my list of 4 things, and that is you must read. If you forget everything else I've said today, please remember this one thing. For me, it is you must read. Read anything and everything. I'd prefer to ask you, what book is at your bedside? And that's apart from the mechatronic books and the engineering books, okay? What book are you currently reading? Okay? Because if you develop a culture of reading, the world is a limit. Okay? And I'm not talking about soap books or Ebony, or True Love. Those don't qualify as reading material. They're not bad to read, so don't get me wrong. Okay? What I'm just saying is, you must develop a great reading culture. Okay, thank you very much.